From a legendary mine named after a mythical creature to the very first gold mine in the United States, here are 12 of the most legendary abandoned gold mines in the world. Number 12, Lake of the Golden Bar. As legend has it, this lake was discovered back in 1884 deep in Alaska. Gold hunters were searching around the St. Elias Mountains near the Yukon River. According to the story, while exploring the area, they found a small lake with a surrounding coast of sand that was chock full of gold nuggets. Of course, the excited men hurriedly built a cabin near the lake and collected the gold, then stashed it in a nearby cave. But the Native Americans weren't too friendly with these white miners. When they found the prospectors, they killed one man, burned down the hut, and ran the other two off in a hurry. One brave soul tried to return to the location where their treasure was buried, but got lost in the Yukon and never returned. That's what happens when you go for an adventure in the most remote part of America. The legend still lives on, but no mining company or geographic surveyor has been able to find anything resembling this legendary cache of gold or the mysterious lake. Number 11, Lost Lemon Mine. This mine is legendary as well, and located deep in the wilderness of Alberta, in Western Canada. The most famous stories about this place were collected and made into a book called The Lost Lemon Mine by author Tom Primrose. Its history dates back to the 1940s, when it was first mentioned as a motherlode of insane treasure. Of course, the tale has attracted fortune seekers, many of whom went out into the most remote and dangerous parts of the province in order to find it. Sadly, many of these risk-takers never made it back alive. The legend has only grown over the last 75 years, and the mine has even been mentioned on documentary television series and in a feature film. It just goes to show how much people love the idea of becoming treasure hunters. Number 10, Lost McLeod Mine. Similar to the Lost Lemon Mine, this mine is located even further in the Great White North, in the wild and untamed Northwest Territories. Like the Lost Lemon Mine, it too has been depicted in various forms of media, including novels and magazine articles. And sadly, numerous people have perished while searching for this mine as well. Canada's wilderness attracts reckless people who have a disturbing habit of running out of supplies during the bitter cold winter. The area around the mysterious mine, called the Valley of the Headless Men, is appropriately named. The local native people claim that a mysterious evil force lurks within and dare not approach the valley. Be careful if you go up there searching for gold. Speaking of which, do you have any gold trinkets? Or maybe some gold coins as an investment? Even if you don't, did you know that a tiny percentage of your body contains gold? That's right, it's less than 1 part in a million, but you have gold in you. Ever wonder how it got there? Unless you're eating gold, that is. Let me know your theories in the comments below. Then be sure to subscribe to The Biggest to get even more amazing content delivered straight to you every single week. Number 9, Lost Dutchman's Mine. This is one of the most famous legendary gold mines in the world. It's located in a mountain range called the Superstition Mountains, east of Phoenix, Arizona. Since it was first announced in the late 1800s, thousands of people have gone searching for it each and every year. That's right, over 100,000 people have scoured the area in the Lost Dutchman State Park trying to find gold. And of course, some of the more foolish ones did indeed perish while searching, most likely because they got lost and ran out of water. What is the origin story? It has gotten a bit mixed up over the years with different retellings, but the facts are as follows. 2 German men, named Jacob Waltz and Jacob Weiser, found an incredible mine rich with gold in the Superstition Mountains, but were attacked by violent Apache tribesmen when they were gathering gold there. However, they were only wounded and made it back to a town where they told the doctor who treated them, a mysterious Dr. Walker, about the location of the mine. He tried to locate it later, but could not. There are also stories of U.S. Army soldiers finding the vein of gold, but mysteriously disappearing without revealing its exact location. The story goes deeper, though. Another man, explorer Adolf Ruth, went searching for this mine 50 years later. In 1931, he set out for the Arizona wilderness, but did not return. His body was later found with 2 bullet holes in his skull, which led to a national frenzy of new coverage and speculation about if he had truly found the mine. Some of Mr. Ruth's belongings included a note that gave directions to the mine, with his claim that he did in fact discover it. Was Adolph Ruth killed for the map he held, with directions to the gold mine? Has the mine already been looted? Or is there still an untouched vein full of gold under the sandy soil of Arizona? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Number 8. Reed Gold Mine. This is a real-life mine, which was actually the very first commercial gold mine in the United States. It started way back in the late 1700s when a man named Conrad Reed found a 17-pound hunk of gold while looking around the family's farm. He did not know the true value of the gold, so he sold it to another man for far less than it was worth. Today, it would be worth over $400,000. The farm eventually became a legitimate gold mine, and the owner became incredibly wealthy. By the late 1800s, though, the mine had run out of gold and was turned into a historic place. However, there still might be more gold hidden out in unforeseen places on the old farm. Could the long-deceased owners have tucked some away in a secret hiding spot? It's possible. Could a lucky prospector stumble upon thousands of dollars worth of gold all of a sudden? It's also possible. Is it worth a visit to find out? Absolutely. Number 7. Strattons Independence Mine. This old gold mine was located in Colorado, right in the middle of the state on the side of Battle Mountain. From 1893 to 1899, over 6 tons of gold was extracted from the mine, which attracted many men to the area in search of treasure. The owner of this land, Winfield Scott Stratton, hired hundreds to work in his mine, leading to labor disputes, theft, and dangerous working conditions. Scott suspected that some of his workers were stealing his best pieces of gold ore and instituted a policy that many found inhumane. They were forced to undress and be watched by security guards to ensure that no one was smuggling out bits of gold in his clothing. This led to a strike because the workers were unhappy with their treatment under the rule. Additionally, a cage that held 15 miners broke from its cable and plummeted in a fatal accident in 1904, leading to more strikes and walkouts by the miners. Eventually, this unrest and the slowing pace of gold production caused the mine to be shut down, but you are still able to visit it, and you might just find some hidden piece of gold tucked away for over 100 years if you're extremely lucky. Number 6. Lost Josephine Gold Mine. The Lost Josephine Mine, a mysterious gold mine in Utah, first appeared in records of Spanish Jesuit priests in 1650. They claimed that it was the most valuable gold mine in the world. Today, an adventurous treasure hunter says he has found it. The mine, in the mountains of northeastern Utah, could contain as much as $1.7 billion worth of gold and other precious metals, but it has lain dormant for more than 3 centuries if the legends are true. Gary Holt, an explorer, believes that he and his son have found the Josephine de Martinique mine at Hoyt's Peak in the Uinta Mountains. They are seeking a permit from the federal government with permission to dig deep enough to extract the gold. The Forest Service says it's all a make-believe tall tale with little truth behind it. However, it's captured the imagination of treasure hunters. Supposedly, the priests who wrote about this valuable mine were forced to abandon it when the Spanish colonists were driven out of the New Mexico territory, which contained what would later become a lot of the mountain and southwestern states, during the 1680 Pueblo Revolution. The natives who lived in the area simply expelled the Spanish with violence, and the gold motherlode went missing. The exact location of the mine has been lost ever since. Gary and his son haven't claimed to be billionaires yet, so it's safe to say that they haven't quite stumbled upon the greatest gold cache in history, but they are probably still out there, still looking. Number 5. Slumox Gold Mine. A man named Adam Palmer has spent every summer for the past decade poring over the mountains near Pitt Lake, British Columbia, in search of a mythic lost mine and the treasure inside, known as Slumox Gold. This is located deep in the mountains, away from civilization, in a remote alpine meadow east of Vancouver. There, Adam has found a major clue. In the meadow, he discovered the remnants of an abandoned log cabin. Near it were a rusted shovel and chisel left there by a gold prospector many decades ago. Over the past years and decades, hundreds of people have looked for this storied mine, which they claim has gold stores worth billions of dollars. As with the other Canadian mines, numerous prospectors have died trying to find it, and others have gone missing. To date, no one has ever conclusively located it. Mr. Palmer has never found evidence of the mine, at least until this massive clue came along. Now he believes that he's very close to the location of the mine. He even found a glass jar from the same time period, which contains what he claims are bits of gold ore. Perhaps he is onto something. But who was Slumox? He was an indigenous man who was tried and convicted of murder and later executed. But rumors began to pop up about his hidden stash of gold, which he would use to pay for drinks and food at local bars and saloons. Right before he was executed, he uttered a curse that would affect anyone who tried to find his mine. But prospectors still ventured out into the mountains, desperate to find the treasure. Skeptics say the whole story is made up, but real treasure hunters get excited about nothing more than venturing out into the wilderness and finding something that has eluded mankind for over a century. Number 4. Dutch Oven Mine. This is a famous lost mine from California near the Clipper Mountains of San Bernardino County. The explorer, Tom Schofield, was a railroad worker who enjoyed searching for gold in his spare time. One day, while looking, he stumbled upon an ancient Spanish camp in a tucked-away valley beyond a hidden spring. He found tons of gold there, including a Dutch oven filled to the brim with actual gold nuggets. He pocketed as much as he could carry, hurried back to town, but could never find the trail or the mining camp again. He was devastated. He thought he remembered everything perfectly, but was totally mistaken. Was it all a hoax? If you search the area near the town of Essex, near Interstate 40 in the Mojave Desert, you might just find what Mr. Schofield never could. Number 3. Lost Cement Mine. Another lost gold mine from California. This one was discovered in 1857 by two men who got lost and separated from their group while crossing the desert to reach the coast. Near the origination point of the Owens River, the two men stumbled upon some rock formations that had gold veins within them. Keeping some of the gold ore, the two found their way to civilization. However, after one of them fell ill with tuberculosis, he revealed the location of his legendary mine as payment to a doctor who was treating him. This doctor, Dr. Randall, took an assistant and spent years searching for the mine in the area around Dead Man's Summit, deep in the Sierra Nevada. This hunt for treasure sparked some news coverage at the time, and even the legendary author Mark Twain joined in the hunt during his time in California. He wrote about it in his book, Roughing It, and you can rough it too if you want to hunt for gold and treasure in this wild part of inland California. You might just wind up becoming a millionaire. Number 2. Naranjal Mine. This legendary mine is rumored to have been located in the Sierra Mountains of Mexico, in the western part of the country. The stories began years ago and continue all the way to today. According to the legend, it sits at the bottom of a canyon, near a river and an abandoned estate house. Orange groves sit around the mine's entrance, guarding the place where mysterious gold that had been the property of the Yaqui Indians now rests. But there's just one problem. No one can find it. One American prospector claims that he found a road sign out in the wilderness, which contained a weather-worn message that said it marked the road to the mines of Arco and Naranjal. But no legitimate expedition has ever found either of these mines, and many suspect that the whole story is made up. Of course, if you feel like courting danger, you can head down to the Mexican states of Sinaloa and Durango and try to find it yourself. Number 1. Lasseters Reef. This is it, the big gold deposit in the middle of the most remote part of the world. Deep in the Australian outback, a legendary mine is rumored to have been reported by a man named Harold Bell Lasseter in 1930. It was thousands of miles inland, away from the major cities near the MacDonnell Ranges. He spent decades trying to raise money to get a full-scale mining expedition to venture the vast Australian desert, but without much success. There was an expedition that finally went through, but not without a ton of hardship and strife among the party members. They ran low on resources and split up, and Lasseter took one other man and some camels with him as he plunged further into the unknown. But he began to lose his sanity there in the desert heat, and his last partner abandoned him. He kept walking with 2 camels to find his treasure, but never returned. His body was later found with diary entries that suggested that his camels too had abandoned him, and he perished as he tried to walk to civilization. Now the location of his gold is totally lost, but it hasn't stopped people from memorializing him in Australian folk history, and there are many treasure hunters out there who have spent many weeks and thousands of dollars trying to find the hidden mine. Perhaps someday, one lucky explorer will find a billion-dollar treasure trove somewhere deep underground and vindicate crazy old Harold Lasseter. Did you get inspired to search for gold yourself? Do you think that any of these mines are worth hunting down? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell to get updated when new videos come out, and I'll see you next time.